The GI Bill, enacted in 1944, completely revolutionized the job market and education. It was able to do this by implementing hundreds and thousands of veterans back into the workforce. Now, when you think about the GI Bill, do you think of this, or how about this, or this? The fact of the matter is that minorities were the most impacted of this bill. This is an aspect of the bill that is often overlooked. This whole sense of racial tension began centuries before the bill was even an idea. Back to the slave trade, this gave the white community a sense of racial superiority that carried through the ages, such as societal and the drinking fountain segregation and education and the segregation there. As you can see by this literacy chart, the Caucasian population never had a problem with illiteracy. In a chart showed in 1900, it had a 4% illiteracy rate. However, in the same time period, the African American population had a 44% illiteracy rate. Once again, dating back to these racial tensions from the slave trade that disabled the minorities. Well, World War II rolled around, and this allowed minorities to get more involved in their community. And they did so very proudly. The main issue came back to jobs. With all these veterans returning from war, they had nowhere to go. Their jobs were either taken, or given to someone else, or they weren't existent anymore. As a researcher said, some were had to force to go from factory working to picking apples. Well, the government had to solve this. So the solution was a highly controversial GI Bill. It was controversial because, one, senators thought it was a step towards communism. Two, it thought that it would demean the initiative to get work. And three, some senators thought that college was just for the elite few. However, after much compromising, the bill was finally passed in 1944. As you can see by this chart, enrollment for a minority population in 1940, before the bill was passed, was very low, almost 2%. However, for the white population, it was 6%. Now, once the bill was passed and gave minorities a chance to go to college, enrollment increased immensely, and as you can see, by 1991, it was near 15% for minorities. As more minorities were entering colleges, they were able to get better jobs. As you can see, in 1900, the male black had a very low job rate. However, for the male white community, very high job rate. And of course, with jobs comes income. And so with the bill, how it changed their ability to go to work, gave them more money. So as you can see, in 1939, before the bill was passed, the male minority population made about $537.45. However, 10 years later, 5 years after the bill was passed, that same population was making more than triple. There were some ramifications of the bill. First, with the ability to gain new jobs and new education and new income, minorities were now able to provide a basic life for their family, something they never had before. Second, they were able to get a basic education, their children were. And in 1979, illiteracy rates for both races were close to equal and almost zero. The biggest ramification of all was the civil rights movement. Because all these minorities were being educated in college, they learned that they were entitled to certain things, such as an equal opportunity for the pursuit of happiness, which Dr. King fought for. They were able to show this through their work, education, and communal activities. So in conclusion, the GI Bill was signed in 1944. It implemented veterans back into the workplace. It improved the lives of minorities, and it can change the American history completely. Thank you.